We're on Legion Field in the heart of Big Blue Country, and Larry Shelton and I have not really a surprise, but a treat coming up for you. The rains have stopped, Larry. It's going to be Gate City and Graham in the mud.
But Chuck, it's going to be a wet track, no doubt about it. But one good thing about it, if you're here, you're able to sit and enjoy the ball game without the precipitation. But if you aren't here, you missed a treat. You should be here. It's going to be a heck of a football game, I believe.
Okay, you still have time. If you're around in our viewing area, then you still have time to get on out to Legion Field and support these youngsters. There's plenty of seating available on either side, matter of fact. And, well, you're about 15 minutes from game time, so come on down to Legion Field. Support the team of 93. Larry, I'll identify our sponsors and we'll be back with more. We're being presented in part today by the following: by the Magic Home, Nations Bank, State Line Graphics in Weber City, Daugherty Brothers Chevrolet, King Ford Sales, Weber City Drug Center, by Dennis Fritz, All-State Insurance Agency, by Williams Heating and Air Conditioning, Roberts Tire and Recapping, McConnell & Sons Nationwide Home Dealers, by Scott Telecom and Electronics, and by Old Dominion Shoe Repair. Larry, this is a meeting that you just about figure when you start the season you're going to end up with Graham. It's been that way for a number of years.
Well, Graham has, like you said, traditionally been a power in the Southwest District. The only thing that might have happened back years ago was that Gate City, when we were in the Southwest District, may have at times kept Graham out of the playoffs.
Right.
But that was before 1986, I believe, when the new division setup came in with the 4 regions and the way it's divided up now.
Right. Well, Glenn Carlock, he made a statement to the Kingsport paper yesterday, I guess, or the day before, that he hadn't been to Gate City in 9 or 10 years. It's been a long time. And before then, he wasn't really all that successful. Let's pause for a moment of silence and then the national anthem. The national anthem as performed by the Gate City Big Band of Blue. Larry, they will not be on the field due to the inclement weather conditions today. Richard Lake was telling Wayne Brabson early on that they just simply could not go out and march in this, which is well understandable.
And Graham also is not going to march, Chuck, but you and I are going to have to. Graham's going to believe they're awful close to us, and they're a real sounding band.
Oh, I tell you, they don't have all the pieces, I would guess, 25, 30, or maybe a few more. But anyway, they're very loud, they're very adamant, and it's going to be a loud press box today. They're right now exercising their vocal, or their lung power anyway. Last year, Nick Colabro broke the Glenn Carlock jinx, having defeated Glenn the first time last year at Graham. I'm sure Glenn Carlock is going to try to extend that favor today.
Well, I'm sure he is also. He's going to try to get back on the winning side, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Chuck, you and I have talked a lot about it, coach versus pupil versus his old coach, but you get right down to it. The football game's won on the football field between the people that participate in it, and you get your kids ready, and you hope that they perform up to their capabilities, and if that happens, then you can't ask for anything.
Nick Colabro said something to me about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it carried a lot of weight, I think. What Nick said was he had talked with his quarterback Barry Wolf. I knew a Barry Simmons one time. Anyway, he talked with Barry, and he told Barry that he thought the quarterback and the coach received too much praise for a win, and also too much heat for a loss. And I agree. All the time, all right, like Barry Wolf, for example, he is in a high-profile position out there. If they have a good game, Barry is going to get a lot of credit. If they have a bad game, Barry is going to be a goat for the most part. The same way with Nick Colabro. This doesn't always pan out. Nick cannot do any coaching past the sideline, and it all is going to happen inside the hash marks.
Well, you call the plays, and if your kids execute, you look good. If they don't execute whatever play you call, it doesn't make any difference. If you don't execute, you don't perform. And I believe that these kids are ready. I'm sure Coach Colabro and his staff is ready, and I'm sure Coach Carlock and his staff and their team are ready. It should be a heck of a football game.
Notice some of the Graham cheerleaders have a big sign. Of course, you probably are looking at it right now. Unless I miss my guess, our camera crew up on top will have it right on the sand, because here comes the G-Men. It says, "We have the power to beat the best." And here they come. That's the G-Men. They kind of remind you of the Washington Redskins, don't they?
Well, I kind of hope they play like the Washington Redskins.
Somebody said that earlier. But anyway, it's always a classic confrontation between the Gate City High School Blue Devils and the G-Men of Graham High School. This is for the grand finale for Region 4. Larry, why don't you go ahead and do the starting lineup for the G-Men?
All right, for Graham on offense, at tight end, J.C. Harmon, 6'1", 180-pound junior. At left tackle, David Bailey, 6'3", 185-pound sophomore. At left guard, Billy Rhodes, 6 feet, 245-pound senior. The center, Mike Hayes, 5'9", 205-pound senior. Right guard, Mike Jude, 6'4", 212-pound senior. Right tackle, Steve Scott, 6 feet, 285-pound junior. And the tight end on the right side, Shannon Hoops, 6'2", 185-pound senior. The quarterback, number 14, Jay Gray, 6'1", 150-pound senior. The left halfback in the wishbone, Mike Gregory, 5'7", 155-pound senior. The fullback, Cameron Kelly, 5'11", 201-pound senior. And the right halfback, Jacob Dews, 5'7", 143-pound junior.
That's the starting lineup. The co-captains are going out to meet in midfield. I'll be doing the starting lineup for the Blue Devils. Larry will get the toss of the coin and have that in a minute. Starting today, biggest part of the game, Blue Devils are seniors. We'll go through it. At tight end, number 32, a senior, Jason Shoemaker. The other tight end will be number 23, a senior, Jody Wolf. The split end will be number 14, a senior, Brian Head, who will also be doing the punting chores. At tackle will be number 70, a senior, Corey McElroy. The other tackle, number 77, a sophomore, J.C. Oakes. At guard will be number 53, a senior, Travis Grizzle. At the other guard spot, number 52, a senior, will be Michael Calhoun. The center will be number 76, a sophomore, Jason Kilgore. The quarterback, number 15, a senior, Barry Wolf. The flanker back, number 25, a senior, Chris Quillen. The fullback, number 40, a junior, Kevin Gibson. The tailback will be number 41, a senior, Eric Arnold. And the deep snap on the punt and extra point attempts will be number 42, Lindsey Fisher, I think. We talked to Lindsey Thursday. He has something wrong with the right arm, but he was dressed today, Larry.
Yes, he was, and I believe he probably will see some playing action. Chuck Gate City won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half.
Sounds good to me.
So Graham will receive the kickoff from McClellan here as we start the game.
McClellan, his task will be to keep it away from Gregory. You can't give him anything cheap.
Well, they put both their speed burners back there.
Right.
Gregory and Hughes both are deep for Graham.
Matt McClellan tees it up, and here's your play-by-play man, Larry Shelton. And this ball game is underway.
And McClellan prepares to kick off from 40. To Hughes and Mike Gregory. And the kick is a low line drive type kick. It's fielded at the 30 and followed upon by Graham at the 32.
Well, that's one way you stop a long return. However, you didn't get much field out of it. Anyway, Graham is starting in pretty good field position on the 32-yard line. Now, we'll be talking today about our defensive linemen on defense. Larry, they don't receive much credit. Every chance we get, we're going to try to zero in and see what they're doing.
Graham check runs from a wishbone set, and they break their wishbone set quite often. They're starting out in a traditional wishbone set with Gray, the quarterback, Gregory at the left half, and Hughes at the right half. Kelly, the fullback. Handoff is to Hughes, and he breaks the tackle outside up to the 40-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds by Beasley, I believe, from Gate City.
Okay, Chad Beasley getting a start today, and this would be, I think, Chad Beasley's first start. He must be in there for whom? Travis Grizzle.
I would say you're right.
I'm looking for 53 and don't see him.
We'll have to check that, Chuck, as they set up defense and find out who he is in.
The down lineman is John Stacy and John Fisher today.
There's a pickup of 8 on the play, makes it 2nd down and 2. Graham still in an unbalanced line, and handoff again to Gregory. He's hit as he breaks up to the 42. Tackled by Brian Head and Matt Johnson.
Matt Johnson, boy, he really got a hold of him with that big shoulder. Brian had already slowed him down, and it is enough for a first down. That's across the 40, I guess.
Yes, the spot's going to be on about the 43 maybe.
Right.
So far, Chuck, the first 2 series that Graham has run the ball out of the wishbone, they've run to the weak side of their set.
Right.
And this time, the weak side of their set is to the right, so we'll see if that holds true here.
The left halfback is Gregory. Watch him.
Handoff is to the fullback this time, and that's Tony Easley in at fullback, and he's hit by those defensive tackles,
right.
Chuck, Fisher and John Stacy, and stopped at no gain.
Well, that's, talking about the down linemen, particularly the down tackles, unless the ball is coming right up the middle, they're not going to be, if they're doing their job, they're not really going to be making the tackles on the outside,
Well, Gate City's defensive scheme is to use your up front people to try to free your linebacker. Gate City is in a 5-man line, in a 6-man line.
Right.
Handoff again, Hughes running left. He's across the 45 and picks across midfield down to the Gate City 48-yard line. He was tackled by Brian Head on the play.
I was watching number 6 come out of there, Larry. That number 6 runs very light on his feet. We wondered about the traction out here. It didn't look like he was even digging into the turf that time. Very light runner.
Pickup of 8 on the play makes it 3rd down and 2. The ball spotted on the 40 to 48 City. It's just short of the 49.
Well, this ball game will advance and host Jefferson Forest next week.
Graham in the same set, wishbone set with a weak side left again. Fake to the fullback, Banks keeps. Kelly keeps on the quarterback keeper and picks up about a yard. I believe he's going to be short of the 4th down by maybe 1.
Larry, that didn't look all that smooth in the backfield. And down there, Coach Carlock and his crew are talking with the quarterback. That didn't look really that smooth coming out of there that time.
Well, the referee first, Chuck, indicated 4th down, and now Graham has asked for a measurement to see just how much they need on 4th down. Well, that wishbone, as you were talking there, you've got 3 options or 4 options, really, with the quarterback being the 4th option. And a lot of times they fake the handoff to sometimes all 3 backs with the quarterback keeping the foot.
It looked like he kind of banged into the end of the fullback who led the block, the first man through. He got it.
So this makes 2 consecutive first downs that Graham has picked up after starting at
with
possession on their own 32-yard line.
The lines on the field are very faint, and I'm sure that is why the one official indicated fourth down, because he just wasn't certain.
The ball spotted on the Blue Devil 47. First and 10, 9 minutes, 29 seconds to go. First quarter, no score. Unbalanced line left this time with the weak side right. Fumble on the snap by the quarterback.
He's going down. Nope, not hardly. But he will, yes.
He struggled and caught for a 2 or 3 yard loss by Matt Clayball on the play.
I'm thinking he's going to get about close to 5 yards that time, Larry, I believe. Let's see, where's the line of scrimmage? I'm trying to see now.
It's going to be about
pretty good little loss. It could have been a little worse than that, but had he not scrambled.
Yeah, the ball will be spotted back inside the 50 at Graham's 49-yard line.
Right.
So we'll call it second down 14.
So a loss of 4 that time.
Gray that time fumbled the snap and had to scramble to pick it up. Tried to circle right in, and play ball came up and made it good.
Right in the pool out there, huh?
Unbalanced line right again. Hand off this side to Dews, running sweeping left, and the Blue Devils do a good job. And
they ended up. They got on that one real quick. You know, it didn't look like I may be lulling myself into complacency. It don't look like things are really maturing that fast in the backfield coming for Graham. I have seen a lot of backs come out a lot quicker than that.
Beasley and John Stacy on the tackle that time. Chuck, I believe what Graham's doing is putting a lot of people in the flow,
right,
and trying to get the interference out ahead of the running backs. And Gate City did a good job that time breaking up the interference. And actually, Dews was caught from behind by Beasley and Stacy, I believe.
What's the discussion there with Matt Johnson?
Just a little repair on the headgear, I believe.
Okay. Matt Johnson, the defensive captain today. The down linemen are John Stacy and John Fisher. John Fisher has missed about, 3 or 4 ball games now?
Yeah, at least that many. Third down on 11. Graham stays in the wishbone. Gray, the quarterback. Hand off this time to Gregory, and he breaks the tackle, but he's knocked out of bounds by Matt Johnson at the Blue Devil 44.
Pretty good little gain.
Pickup of maybe, we'll call it 8 on the play, but still makes it fourth down and
coming up.
About a good 7 yards to go.
Right.
So Graham has dropped back to their punter in punt formation. Shannon Hoops is a punter. Gate City has dropped Barry Wolf back as a single safety.
Well, guys, this is no place to mess anything up on this. Let's get a hold of the ball before we run and try to get something on the board.
The thing about this, Chuck, Gate City could have very poor field position.
Oh, yeah.
Hoops gets off a kick, end-over-end kick. It's going to hit at the 20 and takes a ground roll right and dies dead on the 15-yard line.
You're right. Gate City starting the game, their offensive thrust, 17 yards worse than Graham did. What Barry's got to be able to do, they've got to get some running going. They've got to be able to throw the football, because that's going to be Gate City's forte, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've got to throw the football, I believe, to open up our running game, because we don't have the big backs or the real quick backs like Graham does.
We've got to be able to throw. Here comes Wolf, first and 10.
And Graham's going to throw almost 11-man line at us. They've got all their defensive people within. Wolf on the keeper, breaks across the 20, up close to the 21, about a 5-yard gain on the play.
We can live with that. They was expecting Gibson coming out of there that time, Kevin Gibson, the fullback, and they was looking for him because everybody balled it up in there, and here come Barry rolling off to the right.
Yeah, excuse me, Chuck, get blocked that time by tackle Corey McElroy. He took his man outside and left a pretty good hole, and Wolf just came through it, picked up 5 yards.
Glenn Carlock said he would have to stop Barry Wolf.
Second down and 5, 6:46 to go. Gate City in a pro set formation, handoff, fake, keeper by Wolf across the 25 up to the 26. Should be a first down, Blue Devil.
Getting close it. Well, Barry can see it because they're keying on the running backs. That, of course, is Gibson and Arnold. And 2 straight plays has netted the Blue Devils their first down.
So the Blue Devils took us 2 plays to get our first down. If I'm If I remember right, it took Graham 3 plays maybe to get their first. So the ball spotted at the Blue Devil 36, 1st and 10, 6:27 to go, first quarter.
Wonder how long Barry can run.
Well, hopefully all day long if you can get the gain to 5 yards out of whack. Blue Devils pro set formation again. Wolf takes a snap, hands off to Gibson, circles out to the 27, pick up of maybe 2 yards on the play. Tackled by Kyron Kelly that time.
Brandon Banks.
And Brandon Banks for Graham. Only a 1 yard gain on the play.
I'll tell you one thing. What Graham is doing right now, Larry, they are putting 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 people right in that front wall. They're daring Barry Wolf to throw the football.
Oh, yeah, they're starting with a 6-man defensive front, Chuck, and the 2 linebackers and the cornerbacks are up almost.
Right, they stick their noses right in there.
Yeah, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, probably. All right, Gate City, 2nd down and 9. Barry Wolf takes a snap. Oh,
here it is, here it is.
Has a pass.
Oh, dropped it.
Intended for Arnold that is incomplete.
Right off his fingertips. Barry couldn't have thrown the ball any better, just over Eric's left shoulder, and he just simply couldn't get a hold of it.
The pass was pretty well defended that time by the linebacker on that side, Kelly.
It probably got in Eric's eyes a little bit.
And the cornerback on that side, Dews.
But Barry laid that right smack over the left shoulder.
So Blue Devils have it 3rd down and 9. 5:27 to go. A little bit late getting the play in. Chris Quinlan checks in with the play. And the Blue Devils will attempt now for their 2nd first down, hopefully. Here.
Well, an obvious passing situation. 3rd and long.
Blue Devils again, pro set formation. Barry Wolf, a quarterback, Gibson left high, for Eric Arnold right high. Graham shows blitz from the right side. The handoff is to Arnold. He breaks it up close to the 30, and he's hit and stopped after a pickup of maybe 2 yards on the play.
Not a great deal.
So Gate City will have to punt from deep within their own end of the field here.
Brian Head will check in to do the punting for Gate City, and he's going to be standing back at about the 20-yard line, or maybe inside the 20.
About the 16.
16-yard line, okay.
Have an official's timeout on the field for some more headgear repair. Seems like we've had an awful lot of officials times out.
Headgear repair, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe these guys in the white shirt, the striped shirts, maybe they're specialists when it comes to repairing headgears.
Well, may just be cleaning the mud out of them more than you can see, Jack.
Maybe they can't even find the snaps on them.
Graham puts 3 people back. Hughes, Gregory, and I can't see the other number, but Head gets a snap, gets off a good punt.
This one hit it.
Gregory asks for a fair catch and makes it at the 41-yard line of Graham.
Well, they gave up about 10 yards on that exchange. They had advanced across the 50-yard line one time, then a sack, and then a stop, and they ended up back on the 41, so really they lost about 10 yards on it.
Yeah, I believe when they kicked the ball, the line of scrimmage was Gate City's 45 the last time, so they did lose some yardage, but they do have good field position. It'd be nice to start out on your own 41 every time.
It would, wouldn't it?
Excuse me, Chuck. Gray, the quarterback for Graham. The handoff is to Gregory, running right. He breaks outside, and Mac play ball catches hold of his shirt, drags him down after he picks up 15, 16 yards up to the Blue Devil 44-yard line.
Well, you saw Gregory come out that time off the weak side of the line, Larry, and that young man does have some moves.
Well, I believe, Chuck, in their first series that Gregory never touched the football. Hughes ran it every time.
Right.
Now Gregory has run it and has come out of the lineup, probably replaced by number 9, Shannon Banks this time. I also have a new fullback in, and that should be easily number 42, maybe. Handoffs to the fullback. That's Kelly.
Look out.
And
57 just about got a flag.
He picked up maybe 2 yards on the play.
57 got awfully close to getting a flag that time because that was a pretty late hit.
Gain of 3 yards.
We'll give him. I'll give him 2 yards on the play. Call it 2nd down and 8. The ball spotted at the Blue Devil 43-yard line. 3:56 to go, first quarter. No score. Regional championship game.
It's on the line right here. The winner of this will host Jefferson Forest from last year. They're back again.
Graham breaks the bone this time, splits Gregory out left in the slot. Gray rolls back, throws the ball downfield. That Brian Head almost makes an interception on, gets one hand on it. And the pass was intended for Gregory, but thrown a little bit too far. Head made a good play just to break it up. So it brings up 3rd down and 8. And the first pass at Graham is Stone. Gray seems to possess a pretty good arm, Chuck, threw that ball on the line.
Well, Nick said that they actually threw a little better than they usually do, but they just don't throw all that much. Gregory's out of the game now.
They're still in the... they break the wishbone again and bring out Brandon Banks in the slot this time. Fake to the fullback.
Hang on. All right.
Got a pitch out here. The Gate City recovers.
All right. Attaboy.
The quarterback, Gray, was hit. He tried to option out to the left halfback that time. Banks, and he pitched it out in front of him. Barry Wolf fell on it, recovered the ball at midfield.
I got to tell you, we had a lot of big people coming in there that time, and I'm talking John Stacy, Fisher, Matt Johnson, and a whole bunch of them. They put a lot of heat in Graham's backfield.
Did a good job that time. Like you said, they broke down the interference, Chuck, and got in the backfield and just tore the play up from start.
Oh, it was just very, it was just total disarray in the backfield. That the quarterback really didn't have any idea what to do with it. Blue Devils will take over.
1st and 10, ball's on Gate City's own 49-yard line. 3:03 to go. Barry Wolf, a quarterback for the Blue Devils, takes a snap, rolls to his left, has a man open. That is Jody Wolf, and the pass is overthrown. Pretty well defeated. Barry just threw that ball away, I believe.
Yeah, he just had to get that thing out of the field to play because there was too many people around number 23, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. No score.
Jody came out of the tight end spot on the left side that time, and Graham defended it with a linebacker and a defensive back, had him double covered.
The Blue Devils are using 2 tight ends in this game, as they have most of them for about 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah,
and it's making a lot of difference.
Blue Devils with good field position though. 2nd down and 10, 2:53 to go. Pro set again. Gibson and Arnold in the backfield. Wolf drops back, throws the long pass downfield that's intended for McClellan. It's overthrown.
Put a lot of wind under that one, boy. He got it down there.
So Gate City is 2 consecutive plays thrown the football at midfield and had 2 incomplete passes.
They have yet, but the big tight end, that of course is Jason Shoemaker. They have not gone there yet.
I would say that I haven't had the opportunity by watching the play to see, but I'd say they're doing a pretty good job trying to hold him up.
They're staying with him.
Tight set this time, per a full house formation.
Right. First time I've seen that in a long time.
Yes, it is.
Long count.
Brian Head to right halfback. Hand off to Arnold, running left across midfield down to the 48 of Graham.
Nowhere to go.
A loose football on play, but the officials ruled it dead at the 48. So you 4th down and about 8 yards to go. 2:25 to go, 1st quarter.
No score.
Gate City will punt.
So Brian Head will be called upon to hit it again, and he got off a good punt last time. And it could put Graham mighty deep.
Well, hopefully we get a good punt here.
Right.
They have a lot of speed back with these 3 deep people that they have receiving the kickoff. High snap, but Brian Head gets out a punt off the side of his foot. Kind of wally punt that hits at the 35 and is picked up and down by Gate City at the Graham 35-yard line.
Well, that wasn't a very good punt, but it got Graham back in their end of the field, really back on the 35-yard line. So really they didn't lose all that much on that last fumble.
Well, you figure the line of scrimmage was a 48.
Right.
Graham's 48 to the 35. That's only a 13-yard punt, right?
Wasn't a great punt.
So Graham will take over on their own 35-yard line.
And the backfield now is Gregory, and he's a slick one.
Gregory, Hayes, and Kelly are the backs. Fake to the fullback, hand off to Gregory. Has a big hole running right.
Here he goes. He's gone.
All the way.
Oh, he is gone. Ooh.
Touchdown, Graham.
Well, I don't mind telling you, I wondered about the speed that young man possessed. Hey, make no mistake, it is there.
Gate City only had one man out that might have had a chance, and that was Matt Clayball, and he slipped. And Gregory, once he got by, Clayball was gone all the way. So let's
long run. Could be a long day, guys, unless they can contain that young man.
It could be. That's a, 65-yard touchdown?
Right. From the 30, two?
Yeah.
31, 32?
35.
35, okay. 65-yard. That's not bad when you just roll outside and run for the best.
The point after, the snap is down, the kick is up.
It's good.
And the kick is good.
So, the Blue Devils find themselves now trailing 7-0. And that was some kind of a run from Gregory.
Well, Chuck, you can't do a whole lot about speed if you don't have speed yourself.
That's right.
You've got to be able to contain this speed in the backfield. And Graham came out that time with a lot of interference in front of Gregory and blocked well, and he got to the outside, and there wasn't anybody we had that could catch him.
Nah, we've not seen nothing like that on Legion Field this year.
Graham is a pretty good-looking football team. They have two young men in that backfield, and Gregory and Hughes that has better speed probably than anybody we've seen, except possibly Bishop at Powell Valley.
Well, Bishop, he is quicker. I don't think he has the down-the-field speed that Gregory has. Bishop, he relies a lot on quickness.
The place kicker for Graham is Tony Easley. And Gate City has Matt Clayball and Chris Quillen back deep to receive the kick.
Okay.
Easley kicks a short punt that
look out.
Bounce over Clayball's head. He picks it up at the 9, circles, tries to get outside. He's back up to the 10, breaks a tackle, gets back to the 14-yard line.
Boy, that was you almost self-destructed right there. When you slap at the ball coming down and don't get a hold of it.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe as soft as the ground is. You get a bounce like that.
Really?
You know, you got to come up and feel that thing, and he did, and it took a bad hop over his head, and then you got to cover it.
That's right.
Because it's a free ball, so Clayball did a good job just to get what he could get, really.
Right.
Ball spotted at the 14-yard line.
Matter of fact, they're starting about the same place 2 times in a row.
It's very close. 1:17 to go, first quarter. Graham leads 7-0. Gate City with pro set again. Handoff this time to Gibson over right guard. Picks up maybe a yard on the play.
That's a hard way to get a yard, too, because there was a whole bunch of G-men waiting on that one.
And we'll give him 2 yards on the play, call it 2nd down and 8. Graham is just going to stack it. Defensive line with a lot of people and dare you to run. Or dare you to throw, rather. We're going to shut your running game down and dare you to throw the football.
Well, until Barry can start making that pass work, it's going to be tough for Gate City. Because Gate City, unlike a lot of teams, they've got to make the pass work to be able to run.
2nd down and 8. Ball to the 16-yard line of Gate City. Option this time to Arnold, running left. Breaks up to the right close to 20-yard line.
Looked like Eric Arnold and Matt McClellan got their legs tangled up out there. Matt was, I guess, decoying, and then he's supposed to pick up a block out there. Looked like Eric and Matt got their legs tangled up when Eric tried to turn the corner.
Yeah, I believe he did. About a 4-yard gain on the play makes it 3rd down and 4. The ball spotted, we'll call it at the 21-yard line, and that's the end of the first quarter.
Well, the end of the first 12 minutes, the Blue Devils find themselves 7 points worse off than they were to start the football game. While we've got time out here, let's identify our sponsors one more time. This has been a very short first quarter. We're being presented in part by the Magic Comb, Nations Bank, State Line Graphics, Darty Brothers Chevrolet, Weber City Drug Center, King Ford Sales, Dennis Fritz, Allstate Insurance Agents, Williams Heating and Air Conditioning, Roberts Tire and Recapping, McConnell & Sons Nationwide Home Builders, Scott Telecom and Electronics, and Old Dominion Shoe Repair. And David Stokes wanted me to remind you that as long as the Blue Devils are in the playoffs, they have a super sale. We'll tell you about that just a little bit later on.
The Blue Devils must reach the 24-yard line for a first down. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 here with the ball spotted just across the 20. We'll call it the 21-yard line.
I'll tell you, we talked about how Graham's uniforms were going to look when they got muddy, and you're right. There's no numbers there, is there?
Well, right now you can see a few, but
right.
It'll help since they are outlining red, I believe. Here we go. First play of second quarter. Blue Devils 3rd down and 4 from our own 21.
Looks like there may be an audible from Barry.
And we have a flag on the play.
Delay of the game right here.
I believe we may have motion on Gate City, I believe.
Nobody had gone set yet. How do you get a motion before anyone sets?
Dead ball legal procedure.
How do you do that before you go set?
I'm not sure, Chuck. Unless somebody had gone into the 3-point stance and raised their hand back up, maybe.
I just wondered about that.
So now Gate City has it 3rd down and 9 from their 15, closer to their 14-yard line.
That changes the complexion of things, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So
got 5 more yards to pick up now than what you had before.
So you're going to throw it now no matter what?
Full house backfield.
Maybe not.
Wolf rose to his right, throws the ball out.
Oh.
It's almost intercepted. Wolf had his arm hit as he threw the ball, intended to pass for Chris Quillen. And the pass was almost intercepted by the left outside linebacker, Mike Jude that time.
And Chris, incidentally, when he had turned to make his look, he started falling right then, so he was going down. Well, I was glad to get that incompletion.
Brian Head will be standing almost at his own goal line here to receive the snap.
Brian, old buddy, you need to hit it good this time.
Lindsey Fisher in to do the deep snap.
Long count.
Good.
High snap.
High snap. He gets off an end-over-end punt that's going to be fielded by Hughes at the Blue Devil 45. He breaks across the 40 down close to the, we'll call it the 37.
Chris Quillen was the man that had a hold of Hughes, and Chris had a hard time bringing him down. He was there in plenty of time and had him around the middle right from the back, but he just simply couldn't hang on to him. Couldn't get him down.
Well, he held on long enough to get some help. Jody Wolf and a couple more Blue Devil tacklers. Lindsey Fisher, I believe, in on the tackle also that time. But Graham starts out again, Chuck, in excellent field position on the Blue Devil 37.
They're playing the short end of the field now.
11:32 to go. Second quarter. Graham leads 7-0.
That's something Nick Colorado doesn't want to see.
Gray takes a snap, hands off to Gregory, running right with interference in front of him. And Matt Clayball does a good job just to break him down after a pickup of about 3-4 yards on the play.
Whoever that was, I think it was Matt Clayball that got a hold of the foot or went for the feet, and he completely turned Gregory over. And one thing about Gregory, I'm noticing he comes out of the play off the field following each time he runs. Have you noticed that?
Well, they use Banks a lot at that left halfback spot. I believe that's the same play they scored on, Chuck. They had some good interference out, and really, if Clayball hadn't made the tackle that he did make, that play was destined to go for long yardage also. Full house. Unbalanced line right. Handoff this time to Banks running right, and he's hit almost at the line of scrimmage by Barry Wolf, and Jody Wolf, and Matt Johnson.
Jody Wolf, Barry Wolf, and Matt Johnson.
So I'll tell you, the quarterback has got good hands from Graham. He pulls off a fake about as well as any quarterback we've seen all year.
Yeah, loss of 2 on the play makes it 3rd down and 7. Yeah, he does, Chuck. He was a starting quarterback last year, I believe, when we were up there, played him up there in the regional.
Graham is asking for timeout. That'll be their first timeout.
I believe the official tested his own shoulder, so it's gonna be his timeout.
Yeah, that's right. It's official timeout. Okay. Getting the mud out of a mouthpiece, I guess. Can you imagine that?
Well, to be honest, I expected the field to be in worse shape than what it is in. It's not really in that bad a shape. All right, Graham, 3rd down and 7 at their own 30 at Gate 635. Gray rolls back, throws a pass down the middle that's intended for Shannon Hoops, and he was wide open at the 5, but the pass was overthrown.
I'll tell you, the quarterback just got the ball, stepped back twice, and boy, he rifled it. He's got a good arm. Nick said they could throw better than they usually could, but they don't really throw all that much, but he's got a shotgun arm.
Well, he had beaten our coverage, Chuck, and was wide open. It would have been 6 points if you catch a football. Gray does possess a good arm, I think. He throws the ball on the line. That's 40 yards there, and
not bad.
Not bad at all. All right, Graham's going to go 4th down and 7. The ball on Gate City's 34-yard line. He split out Banks left. Gray rolls back to his left. Gate City gets pressure with Beasley. Throws the pass out of bounds with no receiver around anywhere. And
Could
now
be
I see a
intentional
flag.
grounding.
I see a flag from the
Okay,
referee.
there is the marker, so that'll be intentional grounding. There was nobody there, so the Devils will take over. That's a loss of down also, but it didn't matter anyway because it was fourth down.
Right. So do you get the yardage?
Yeah, you from the line of scrimmage, they will walk off what, 10?
It should be 10.
I think 10 yards. So that'll help Gate City. That'll be one of their best starts in the game, incidentally.
Chuck, while we have a minute, let's identify the officiating crew.
Okay, go ahead.
Dan Matthews is the referee. R.T. Farnsworth is the umpire. Steve Sheets is a linesman. Wayne Austin is a line judge. Terry Fleener is the back judge, and the electric clock operator is Gate City's own Robbie Perry.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 46-yard line.
No comment. You're not getting me out on that limb.
Well, no, I didn't mean to. I just thought it was a good opportunity to do something we never do, really.
Right. Well, we never have info on it.
That's right. So the Blue Devils take over after the penalty at their own 46. Handoff to Gibson, running right off tackle. Picks up maybe 1 yard on the play.
I tell you, Kevin, he comes out quick, but with Graham's big linebackers and big defensive line, he's an easy target, isn't he?
Oh, he sure is. Kelly in that time from his linebacker spot to assist in the tackle. Graham's doing a heck of a job shutting down the running game, Chuck. Darn us to throw, and so far
they've shut off everything.
Yeah, when we've had a chance to throw, we haven't been able to connect.
We've had one first down. That was when Barry ran 2 consecutive plays. There's a marker down.
We have another marker, and I believe it's a legal procedure, probably Gate City again.
And I didn't see a thing this time. Barry walked in. There it is. Barry walked in, started to kneel down, and he gave a call. That's all he did the other time. I don't think anyone in the backfield moved.
Well, I don't. It doesn't necessarily have to be the backfield. It could be the.
Well, it could be anywhere, but I'm not seeing anything other than when Barry turns to give the signal to the left. That's when the flag comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a procedure call.
And we could have somebody, I'd say, that's lining up.
Could be. Who's the referee in the white hat?
Matthews.
Okay.
All right, that makes it second down and 9 now. The ball on Gate City's 42. Graham with a lot of pressure from behind, screen to tight end. Shoemaker, they're blocking out in front.
The boy shoot. Keep stepping, baby. Go. All right.
Inside the 30 at the 25-yard line of Graham.
All right. That's the one they're going to have to defend. This will loosen it up in the middle, Larry, because they've got to defend number 32 now. They know what he can do.
Well, Barry did a heck of a job that time. Just Graham was putting pressure on coming from both.
He paid the price, too.
From both linebacker spots, inside linebacker spots, and he had to loft the ball over the linebacker from his right side.
Good game. And, I really thought Jason was a little bit faster than that.
It takes Jason a little while to get cranked up.
Right. Once he gets his long legs unwound, and he can usually go, but it looked like he was having some trouble getting started that time.
Graham was taking a timeout.
Glenn Carlock and his crew wants to talk it over with their defense. They don't want anything bad to happen, and it just happened.
Well, Gate City needed something in the passing game to open up the running game, Chuck, and I'm not so sure we're going to be able to run very much, even if we throw the ball 25 times and complete 20.
Well, if we throw it 25 times and complete 20 for that kind of gains, we don't have to run.
You may not have to run, right?
That's exactly right. But right now, they've got a 7-point deficit they've got to recover.
That's true, and the conditions are not favorable to throwing the ball with the slick ball every time you come to the line of scrimmage. Uniform and hands and everything else slick with mud and moisture, and it's going to be hard for Gate City to throw the football.
I was looking at the towel hung out of the belt of Graham Center there a while ago. There's more mud on it than there is in the center of the field.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Graham quarterback is even wiping his hands.
Well, I've noticed now that Barry also has a towel hanging out the front of his belt, so maybe he can keep his hands in pretty good shape. First and 10, Graham 25. Hand off to Arnold, breaking over left guard up inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line.
Good gain for Eric Arnold that time. He comes sailing out of there quick.
Quick opener that time off the left guard spot. Blocks by J.C. Oakes and Travis Grizzle on that side.
That'll happen, Larry, when they back the linebackers up. On that particular play, the linebackers were about 2 yards deeper than they have been.
9-yard gain makes it second down and 1. The ball spotted at the 16-yard line of Graham. Blue Devils threatening. Trailing in the ball game 7-0. Wolf hands off again to Arnold. Breaks across the 15 down inside to about the 13-yard line. Should have a first down.
First down, yeah, should be there. He should have got that at about the 15.
Now we'll see what kind of spot we get here. It looks like his forward progress got him down to the 13, we'll call it.
Yep, first down.
First and 10, 13-yard line of Graham. Gate City trails in the game 7-0. 7:45 to go before halftime.
Need to get this thing all tied up again, boys.
So we ran the same play two times in a row here off the left side. Our weak side.
That's between McElroy and Grizzle.
Gate City unbalanced line with weak side at the right side.
Long count.
Barry Wolf takes a snap, hands off on the quick opener this time to Gibson, and he breaks up close to the 10-yard line.
Gain of about 3 looked like for Kevin that time, and that's just strength up front. That's all it is. You've got J.C. Oakes, McElroy, Calhoun, and Grizzle, and Kilgore. They are just going off the line, going right at the defense and shoving.
Rose made the tackle for Graham that time. Pick up of 3. Ball spotted inside the 10 at about the 9. Second down and 7 from a 9.
You know, a defense has a hard time getting footage like that. Somebody pushing on you, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Gate City unbalanced line, strong side, right side this time. We've run to the weak side 2 or 3 times in a row. Run weak side this time to Arnold, and he only picks up maybe a yard and a half. Lost his footing because he was hit by Mike Gregory. Really came from his safety position, get a hand on his foot, and he only picked up 2 or 3 yard better yardage than I thought.
Yeah, he got a couple of them.
Got it down close to the 5. It's going to make it 3rd down and 3.
3rd and 3. So the Devils have got 2 times to negotiate 3 yards.
It looks like a Blue Devils could pick up a first down between the 2 and the 3 yard line.
Right. That would be a good place for one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
So let's just go ahead and get it.
Gate City unbalanced line right. Wolf for quarterback. Hand off this time to Gibson. Running a little slant that time, and he's going to be down inside the 5, close to 3, maybe.
Didn't get there hardly far enough. One more time.
We'll see after they spot the ball.
Looks like he's going to be about a yard shy.
Well, officials are asking for timeout.
Maybe that's not a yard.
Timeout.
They're wanting the chain gang brought in.
Yeah, they're going to bring it in. It looks pretty close, Chuck. It's kind of hard to see this stuff from here.
Yeah, it is. Because we're looking at a real bad angle.
The chain gang over there was kind of surveying everything to see for themselves, and Matthews had to wave them out 2 or 3 times to get them out there.
They kind of lulled them in complacency, huh?
The chain is stretched, and it's first down, Blue Devil.
All right, they needed that, and it'll be about the 3-yard line. Maybe inside. Can you tell?
No, can't. I'm going to call it the 2. It's hard to see here.
That's a good count. That's a good number. I'll take that.
It looks like from the downs marker on the other side, it's about the 2-yard line. First and goal to 2. Gate City, 5:34 to go, trailing in the ball game 7-0.
All right, guys, let's hang on to the football and go straight ahead.
Full house backfield. Wolf takes a snap, hands off this time to Gibson.
Touchdown, Kevin Gibson. He came spurting out of there. He went right between McElroy and Grizzle. And a good shot from Kevin Gibson. I'll tell you, McElroy and Grizzle did a super job over there.
Well, they did on that side. J.C. Oakes also on the left side.
Right. That's right. They were unbalanced that time. Okay.
Yeah. And they did a good job. Now the most important thing so far, or the next most important thing, is to kick the extra point and tie this thing up.
Well, Matt needs to definitely split the uprights here.
The ball will be spotted in the middle of the field.
In the mud.
Yeah, Barry Wolf will be the holder. Low snap.
Whoop. Barry's going to throw.
Wolf just throws it up in the air. I hope somebody can catch it, and the Blue Devils.
Nope.
It's incomplete.
Incomplete.
So we had a low snap from the snapper. It never got back. It rolled almost all the way back.
Barry just tried to make something out of nothing. And there's no way that Barry Wolf was ever going to get that ball down. It was a bad snap coming from the line. And Matt McClellan just stood there and thought, what do I do?
Yeah, Lindsey Fisher that time was a low snapper. I mean, the long snapper, and
he just didn't get it back there.
Just didn't get the football out of the mud. Really.
Probably weighed about 3 pounds more than it should. So the Devils will be kicking off. They're down now, 7-6. 1 point difference.
We got 5:20 to go before halftime. That's kind of an emotional down for Gates.
Yeah, really.
You score and you hope that
everything works good.
Yeah, you know, our extra points all year long have been pretty
well, now that, you know, that's going to go down. It's going to show that Matt McClellan now didn't get that, but really, that shouldn't even have anything to do with Matt.
No.
Because the ball wasn't even kicked.
It wouldn't. If you were keeping individual stats, it wouldn't have anything to do with him. It'd be a failed 2-point conversion because Barry picked the ball up and tried to find somebody in the end zone. So, yeah, that wouldn't go against his stats. All right, Graham has Gregory and Hughes back deep. Blue Devils with McClellan will kick off at the 40. Probably try to angle this ball across to his left. A low kick this time. It's hit by a Graham defender, picked up by another one at the 30 and breaks up close to 40 at about the 39.
One thing about it, Graham has played from the short end of the field all day, haven't he?
Well, evidently we respect Hughes and Gregory's speed enough not to kick the ball off to him.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want to do that.
We're trying to keep the ball low and hope that some of the uphill.
The only thing that's real safe would be kick it to the vocational school, let them start it on the 20.
Yeah, you're right. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line of Graham. We've got 5 minutes to go, second quarter.
The Blue Devils had a good drive that time, Larry. They took it down and punched it in. That's what they need to be able to do.
And off this time to Gregory, running right with interference right. Good blocking. Jody Wolf tried to make a tackle, but couldn't get to him. He's tackled by
John Stacy was the one that flattened him out there.
And Wayne Gamble on the play
Wayne
also.
Gamble, John Stacy, Barry Wolf, a bunch of them there. He drew a crowd when he came off that side, but I looked up, there's 71 right there.
The pickup of about 8 yards on the play is going to make it second down and 2. Graham, when they run that play to the strong side, they have an awful lot of interference. It looked like Jody Wolf was in good shape to make a tackle, and he got blocked, and that only left a couple people to run him down. All right, second down and 2 from Graham's own 47-yard line. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go, second quarter. Hand off this time to the new man in the backfield at Banks, and he gets up to midfield, picks up a first down.
Boy, I tell you, he was baptized in fire by doing that, too, because he took a knee pretty good.
John Fisher and Barry Wolf on the tackle.
He's acting kind of wobbly out there right now. He came up, and he was running very low, and someone came in. Looked like the knee got right under the headgear.
Well, Banks is a man that they put in for Gregory. They alternate a lot at that left halfback spot out of the wishbone.
Somebody just about rung the chime that time.
Well, looks like Gregory's back in the lineup now with Hughes at the other halfback spot. The new number in the lineup, coach's son, Glenn
Number
Carlock.
10, Carlock comes in now, wide out.
Great straight back, throws out a little flyer pass to Gregory, and Beasley makes a good tackle along with Jody Wolf. Stop him at midfield for no gain.
They had the young Carlock out, running him as a decoy. Remember, what's been 2 or 3 years ago when Andy Robbins played for Powell Valley? Yeah. And Phil was always putting him out as a decoy. Then all of a sudden he'd lull you to sleep, then he'd hit him with about an 80-yard bomb.
Yeah. Carlock has a quarterback's number and is listed as a quarterback in the program. But
he came out that time as a wideout.
Yeah, they run him at tight end.
Yeah, he's tight end now.
All right, unbalanced line right. Hand off to Hughes, running left to the weak side. Gate City picks a tackle with Barry Wolf inside their own 40 at about the 38. Wolf was the last man to stop him, and he made a good tackle. But Graham picks up a first down at about the Blue Devil 39.
I was watching the number 10, the young Carlock down here. When it came off line, one thing about the youngster, that is proper procedure in blocking, because he really put a block on his quarterback.
We had a flag on the play, and it told against Graham. So that's one of the reasons these sweeps to each side have been working pretty good.
Right, you've been holding. I mean, hey, that will work every time if you can hang on to the people, you know, the tacklers.
So, the flag was laying at the 45 of Gate City. It'll be marked off and spotted back at the 44 of Graham.
That's the deepest they've been in a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Matt Johnson, the defensive captain out there. He's the middle linebacker.
So,
man, he's going to be tough, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be a heck of a football player. I think he already is a heck of a
Oh, yeah.
We're going to call it first down at about 18 here, I believe.
Here's the ball.
Carlock splits out right with Hughes in the slot. Right. Hand off to the fullback. And he's hit at the line of scrimmage by Travis Grizzle that time.
Travis Grizzle, okay.
I should have known when that head snapped back who hit it. But Grizzle made him straight up and put a good tackle on him.
Travis can hit hard, can he?
Yeah, he can. He done a good job from his linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm. So that kind of frees him up, gives him, a little bit of movement time before he makes a lick.
Yeah, third down and 16 now. 1:55 to go before halftime. Graham leads 7-6. Same formation. Carlock splits out wide right with Hughes in the slot.
He's back. You want to throw
Got a screen coming up, and the Blue Devils play it pretty good. And throw the man after he picks up 5 or 6 yards. Up across midfield to about the 48.
All right, Matt Johnson, Eric Arnold, those people were right there waiting on him. Wayne Gamble, he was also there.
Blue Devils read that pretty good, I believe, with Matt Johnson. They saw screen and tried to get up and almost caught him just as at the time he made the reception.
Well, there hadn't been a lot for Gate City to cheer about today. They're looking across the field. They're just sitting there kind of, well, when are we going to start the show?
Hoops is a punter for Graham, gets a good snap. And Gate City comes with Quillen and almost blocks it. Wolf makes a reception at his own 19-yard line.
Inside the 20. That's where the Blue Devils will take over. And matter of fact, more importantly right now is the time. It's short, 1 minute.
Yeah, exactly 1 minute to go. So far, Chuck, Graham's moved the ball probably much better than Gate City.
Yeah.
But
I've got a feeling you're going to see some defensive adjustment from Coach Housewright at halftime. They're going to have to do something to really put the stops on Mr. Gregory.
Well, they have the speed and they run wide, and I'm sure we're prepared for that. We just got to execute it to stop. All right, the Blue Devils take over at their own 19. Barry Wolf in a Gate City in an I formation. They run a draw to Arnold. He breaks across the 20 up to close to 25, 26-yard line. Fights for extra yardage.
About 7 yards.
Gets up, we'll spot it at the 26 and about 7 yards on the carry.
Second down, 3.
And 42 seconds to go before halftime.
One more play unless Coach Colorado wants to stop it. Carlock, I don't think will stop it.
Well, we've got the ball deep in our own territory.
Right.
We may just run a play and be satisfied to go in only a point down at half.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake down here.
24 seconds to go. Blue Devils at their own 26, second down and 3. Quick opener this time to Gibson, and he's hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. So the Blue Devils will just let the clock run out of Graham.
That's going to be the last play of the half. Well, 7-6. The Devils are down by 1. Coming back, the Blue Devils, of course, will get the football to start the third quarter. And in the first 24 minutes of football, Larry, do you suppose that Glenn Carlock and Nick Colabro have figured each other out completely now?
Well, I believe both of them have.
They knew before they got here, right?
Yeah, I believe they prepared well for this football game. Graham's had the advantage because they've had good field position. Gate City's been backed up deep in their own territory 2 or 3 times, and have only been able to put the one drive together.
Gate City right now, of course, they're down by 1 point, but that doesn't mean a great deal. Not at this point in time. What you've got to do is figure out a way to stop Mr. Gregory, because he is a threat no matter where on the field he might be. Just like the 65-yard touchdown scamper.
Yeah.
Just off the right side, he was just running. Looked like he was running for the chain, and all of a sudden, Matt play ball, took a shot, missed, and actually Matt fell, I think, and that opened it up. So he ran 65 yards. The Blue Devils, on the other hand, the one way that they do match up with Graham, that is, I believe, intensity of the line play this week.
Yeah, they've the Blue Devils, I think, so far have done. I think they've done a pretty good job defensively, Chuck.
They have.
The defensive line has stopped pretty much everything except the sweeps time or two, and we've really done a pretty good job on the sweeps outside, except for the one that went for the touchdown. And
we just simply do not have the speed to contain the likes of Gregory once he turns the corner. I wondered, what it would look like seeing someone that fast. And when Coach Colabro talked about this young man being invited somewhere overseas to run in some track and field, I wondered what we were going to see. Now we saw it, and I don't want to see more.
Well, I believe also even with the bad track like we've got, his speed is probably hampered a little bit. I'd say he's even faster on a good field. I'm sure he is. And Hughes is supposed to be just as fast as Gregory is almost. And so they have good balance in their backfield. They have speed from both halfback spots, and they've got two big fullbacks that they run. And I'll tell you what, as you and I take a timeout and come back in time for the stats.
Okay, let's before we do that, let's identify our sponsorship again, and we'll be back and talk more about it. We're at halftime. The score is 7-6. Gage City down by 1. We're presented in part by the Magic Comb, by Nations Bank, State Line Graphics, Darty Brothers Chevrolet, King Ford Sales, Weber City Drug Center, Dennis Fritz, All-State Insurance Agency, Williams Heating and Air Conditioning, and Roberts Tire and Recapping by W.E. McConnell and Sons, Nationwide Home Builders, by Scott Telecom and Electronics, and by Old Dominion Shoe Repair. And David Stokes wanted me to remind you that as long as the Blue Devils are in the playoffs, he has a big 10% discount on all the Vibram full soles and heels. That's for the Rockport shoes, incidentally. Big 10% discount if you simply tell him you heard it on Channel 30 STE. We're going to take a little time out, and we'll be back with the halftime stats and the second half. So, stick with us. Trailing on the low end as a 7-6 score following a 65-yard run by the young Gregory, halfback from the G-men. With all the stats, Larry Shelton. Larry?
First downs, Gate City had 4, Graham had 5. Rushes, Gate City rushed the ball 16 times for 53 yards. Graham rushed the ball 17 times for 115 yards. Passes, Gate City attempted 5, completed 1, no interceptions, 33 yards. Graham attempted 5 passes, completed 2, no interceptions, 9 yards. Total offense, Gate City 86, Graham 124. Fumbles, Gate City 0, Graham had 2 fumbles and lost 1. Turnovers, Gate City 0, Graham the 1 fumble that they lost. Punts, Gate City punted the ball 3 times for 24 yards. Graham punted the ball 2 times for a 29-yard average. Penalties, Gate City had 2 penalties for 10 yards. Graham had 2 penalties for 15 yards. So, Chuck, it's basically been what the scoreboard says. It should be an even ball game. We failed to execute our extra point. The score should have been 7-7. Graham has us doubled a little bit in rushing yardage, but a
lot of that came on that one carry, though.
Yeah, and the one pass that we completed gave us all our passing yardage, so it kind of balanced out total offense-wise. But the Blue Devils need to here start the second half with a good drive and put something on the scoreboard.
The G-men are kicking it away to Gate City.
And the Blue Devils have Matt Clayball and Chris Quillen back deep. 12 minutes to go before the regional championship is decided.
The sky is getting pretty heavy, too.
A high kick. Quillen fields the ball at the goal line. 5, 10. Break outside to the 10, 20. He's hit at the 12 line.
It was almost clothesline. The big right hand came out from somebody and just about lifted Chris off the ground.
So Blue Devils started out the second half the same way they started the football game, Chuck, when they got the ball the first time.
That's not a good place.
Deep in their own territory. It's not been a game of field position for the Blue Devils so far. We've come out on the short end of the stick.
Gate City 12-yard line.
But one of these drives here that starts at the 12 should take 2 or 3 minutes longer time you put one in the end zone.
All right, 88 yards they've got to cover.
Blue Devils with Quillen in a slot formation. Run a reverse inside to Quillen. He breaks up close to the 15, about the 14. Might have picked up 3 yards on the play.
Once again, Chris took a pretty good shot over there. That cornerback was standing there waiting. He saw that play coming that way. Obviously, Coach Carlock had a film of that.
Only a yard and a half gain. Maybe we'll call it 2 yards. 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 14, I believe. It's kind of hard to read them now, Chuck, on that side of the field.
Yeah, boy.
We'll call it 14-yard line. Blue Devils taking a little extra time here trying to get the right play call. Barry Wolf, a quarterback.
Matt McCullough comes out wide right.
Arnold to left half, Arnold to right half, and Gibson left half. Pro set formation. Gates City unbalanced right. Option, Wolf on the keeper, and gets nothing. Gets lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Very lucky. Our camera people today, let's identify them. We have not done so thus far. We have John Weidiger up on top, Charles Hartgrove, Nathan Kilgore. Our producer today is Gwen Lane, the manager of STE, Jim McConnell. Guys, keep it up. You're doing a good job.
No gain on the play. Maybe a half-yard loss. We'll call it 3rd down and 9. The Blue Devils still on their own 14.
An obvious passing situation.
And deep in your own territory, too. It's got to get something to get you out of this hole. Wolf, a quarterback. Quick opener to Gibson. He breaks across the 20 up to about the 20. Across the 15 up to about the 17, but there's a flag on the play also.
It's going to be a procedure call, I believe.
It could be a hole, could be a face mask coming from a man that came from.
Okay, here comes the signal.
Face mask.
Shoo! Okay, we needed that. Take it any way you can get it. That's 15. It was playground.
I believe high school 15.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I believe they are. I'm not sure. I know.
I don't know. Anyway, here comes the long one walking it off down the field.
That's a 15-yard penalty. So it's going to move the Blue Devils, give them a 1st down and spot the ball at the 31-yard line. So
we needed that.
Sure did. And it also gives you a new series of downs. Graham leads in this regional championship game 7-6 as the Blue Devils must a extra point attempt after they had scored to tie the game.
Chris Quillen comes out wide right this time.
Pro set formation. Barry Wolf, a quarterback again. Wolf drops back.
Off was got a man up there. It is caught. No, it's not through his arms. Oh, how did he drop that?
Well, Barry threw that ball off the wrong foot, Chuck.
Yeah, he did, but it was right there.
He had him open. He didn't get the ball to him quick enough. If he gets the ball to him, it's a touchdown. But he laid it up because he threw it off his front foot, and the defensive back had time to get back to it and deflect it.
It was so close, I thought it went right through Chris's hands.
They did, but it was deflected, so it made it that much harder to catch. You get that thing to him on the line, or set your feet and throw it to him, and you got a touchdown. What? 2nd down and 10.
I'm sorry. Now Jason Shoemaker comes out wide right.
Quick opener, Shoemaker makes a catch at the 35, breaks up close to the 40.
Broke one, couldn't get away from the second one.
Picked up maybe 9 yards on the play. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1, I believe.
Number 78, Mike.
That'll put you in the general vicinity of acquiring a 1st down anyway.
A little place out in the flat that time to Shoemaker, and he picks up 5 yards to the 40-yard line, makes it 3rd down and 1. Blue Devils must make their own 41-yard line for a 1st down here.
Shoe did a good job. He broke that first tackle, thusly getting about 3 more yards.
Yeah, he did, Chuck. That's a good call on your part. He did. He broke a tackle after about a 3-yard gain. Hand off this time to Gibson, and he looks like he has a 1st down.
We'll see. Looking across, I believe he has it.
Yeah, I'm kind of going by the line judge. He has it by his mark, I believe. 1st down, Blue Devils. 8:54 to go, 3rd.
Just continue to grind it out, gang.
The penalty so far on ground for the face mask is continue a drive. We have officials timeout again.
Okay, we're going to do something. What are we going to do?
It's all related to
now we'll chop it, and we're ready to go.
Ball spotted at the Gate City 43-yard line.
43-yard line. 1st and 10, Blue Devils. They're on 43. Gate City unbalanced line, power side to the strong
Here comes
side,
that
left
big
side.
line. Look out, there's 7 of them in there.
They rushing the quarterback. We fake, run the option with Wolf, breaks it across the 45 up to about the 47. Pick up about 5 yards on the play.
And I really thought that Kevin Gibson had the football that time. Barry did a good job, and Kevin covered up well.
And Graham came in a blitz like you called, and we ran by those blitz and linebackers, Chuck. Pick up close to 5, long forward. We'll call it second down and 5. Ball spotted at the Blue Devil 47-yard line.
If they can negotiate 2 or 3 more first downs, that should get the defense somewhat wandering around it. They're wondering what to do.
Graham still with 8 men on the line of scrimmage, defensive line of scrimmage.
Coming hard.
Coming hard. Handoff Gibson. He breaks it across midfield to about the 49. It'll be short of a first down by about 2 yards, looks like.
So third down and about 2.
The ball's going to be spotted just inside midfield on the Graham side at the 49.
Well, we haven't been there much today, have we?
No, sir. No, sir. Had recovered the fumble midfield at one time. So Blue Devils here with 7:20 to go, maybe 2 down territory, even though it's midfield. Chuck.
Brian Head checks in. He'll be the, I guess, what's he going to be? He's going to line up at the halfback.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be in a full house backfield
here. Full house. Brian Head in there at halfback.
Arnold at the Gibson fullback spot. Gate City unbalanced right, handoff. Gibson, and he struggles. I believe he's going to be short of the first down by about a half a yard.
Yeah. But you're going to have to go for it. You're going to have to go.
Well, it's a big call here.
It's a big call, too. But
Lindsey Fisher comes in, and he's usually the long snapper, so believe the Blue Devils are going to punt the football.
I guess that's a sensible call. I think I would have to go. When you need a half a step, I think I would have to go. Because you're in the third quarter and time running out. You're down by 1.
Brian Head back to do the punting. Got Gregory and Hughes back in.
Oh, Brian got that one.
Kind of a line drive that Gregory receives at the 21, breaks the tackle up to the 25. Jason Kilgore on the tackle for the Blue Devils along with Eric Arnold.
That was a good call on Coach Collibro's part. He went with the conservative side of it, punting it. I would have had to have played the part of a riverboat gambler and gone that time. Of course, I would be a goat a lot of times, you know.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that, Chuck. Third quarter, midfield, you're already trailing in the football game.
But you're only down half a step.
But we were only down 2 steps or a full step before we got half of it, right?
Like what I say, I'm a riverboat gambler, you know.
Gray, the quarterback for Graham. Ball is on their own 25-yard line.
Now, we need to get the football back.
Wishbone said. Hand off to Hughes running left, and the Blue Devils do a good job stopping him after no gain at all.
They shut him down. Matter of fact, I think he might have given up about a half a yard.
Barry Wolf, John Fisher on the tackle.
Big John. Our defensive linemen, it's good we got the Big John back in there because that makes both our defensive tackles, what, about 240?
Yeah, I believe both of them are listed 240.
And, of course, John Stacy, probably the strongest man on the football team. Yeah, he weighs 240.
And Big Fisher is the tallest man we have, I guess,
right.
Other than Schumacher, the tallest man on defense, isn't he? He's about 6'4".
Looking at Big John down there now, he is a man, isn't he?
Wishbone said again, Graham. Gray, the quarterback, runs the option on and keeps the ball across the 25 up to about the 27.
Not much.
Only a pickup maybe of 2 on the play.
Tackled by Jason Schumacher.
So it's going to bring up a third down and 7 yards to go. Closer to 8, really,
well,
third and 8.
About 8. So an obvious passing situation, either that or give it to Gregory and let him run wide.
Well, the Blue Devils hold them here, Chuck. They could come out with pretty good field position.
Matter of fact, could be some of our better field position all day. 4:40 left in the third period. 7-6. Blue Devils down by 1.
Graham unbalanced line, strong side left this time. They've been running away from the strong side. See what happens here. Gate City coming on a blitz. Same play to Gregory, but we had him tackle him at about the 30. He only picks up 2 or 3 yards on the play.
Didn't get that. So the G-men are going to have to punt it away. You can bet there's going to be a lot of folks going after that punter this time.
About 6.
Clock's down to 4:09 to go, third quarter. Graham leads 7-6. Barry Wolf will be the only safety back in punt formation or in receiving formation.
He's going to have a lot of blue in his face. Boy, he stands deep, doesn't he? Look down here.
Yeah, Shannon Hoops is a punter for Graham.
Right.
Blue Devils 10-man line. Chris Quillen's got awful close one time. And now they got a pass that just throws the ball up in there, and they have a man open. And they've also got a lineman downfield.
Yep, there's going to be an illegal receiver downfield. So that's going to help. Phew.
Well, what we had, Chuck, we had a high snap to the punter,
right,
and he just threw the ball up in the air for grabs.
And Chris Quillen was coming hard. He was right in his face.
Well, they slipped that time, Chuck. If he hadn't slipped, I believe he may have been able to make the tackle. He slipped just as he started in. He's been awful close to blocking a punt once or twice.
Well, he's blocked a couple of them this year.
Yeah, he has.
And he was coming up there really good, and he just couldn't get any footing under his right foot. He slipped, and he could very well have made the block. So the G-men now are going to take a 10-yard. Well, that was a loss of down. An illegal receiver downfield is a loss of down, isn't it?
It's fourth down anyhow. It's only a 5-yard penalty. I believe they marked it off from the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Makes it fourth and 11.
Let's see if Chris can get a little better footing this time.
The ball's on their own 25-yard line. Good snap this time to the punter. And he does. He got it. Chris Quillen blocks a punt.
There it is.
Struggle after it. Touchdown. Ball on it in the end. Touchdown.
All right. We saw that one coming, Larry.
Eric Arnold recovered the football.
All right. I'd rather be lucky as good, but Chris Quillen knew that he had the tools to block the thing. He was going after it the first time, and the second time he got it. All right.
Well, Chuck, you know, we talked about it. It's been close all night long, Chris.
Boy, Chris is a mile high. Isn't he? Watch him.
Now the Blue Devils want a timeout here.
All right, right now there's going to be a discussion. Do we go for two or do we kick?
Right.
That discussion will be there.
Gate City has taken a timeout.
So they don't want to do anything to make a mistake. The boss man will come out, and he will make the ultimate call. Do they go for the two-point conversion and put it up 14-7, or do you take what would just about be a certainty? Well, you would think, but you go back to the last touchdown when the snap was bad.
Right.
And so what do you do?
Well,
I'm glad Nick has to make that call and not me.
I think here you got to go for two.
I
You got to
think you
go
got
for
to.
two to put the pressure on the other team if they score.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris's block could not have come at a better time, could it?
No, it couldn't. Gate City needed some fire in them, Chuck, and I believe this should help here.
Well, hey, it can't. I'll tell you what, if the rest of the team is half as high as number 25, by golly, they're going to be playing a real emotional third and fourth quarter because Chris is a mile high.
Well, Chris did a good job, and the rest of the Blue Devils, Arnold, Clayball, and those guys on that side, on the left side after the pump was blocked, were really scrambling to get to the end zone to fall off.
They are going for the two conversion. I kind of thought that would be the call Coach Collibro would make.
Gate City, the ball will be spotted at the 3 since they're going for two. Run and shoot formation with Arnold, the only back in the backfield. Quillen in motion right. Wolf rolls out. Gets a lot of pressure. Lot of pressure. Throws the ball in through the end zone. That is incomplete, but there's a flag in the end zone.
I've got a feeling that's interference because they were all over him.
It could be offensive interference, too.
I believe it's going to be called defensive, though, because Eric was stretching up, and the young man actually, he didn't intend to, but he backed into him.
Now, the penalty's against Gate City.
It was, sure enough. Eric, I guess, got all over the defender. But they're going to wave it off because they're not going to want him to do it again.
No, I'm sure they're going to.
That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
That's just, it shouldn't be. It should just be extra point, no good.
Okay, that's all it is. So the Devils will kick it away from the 40-yard line.
Well, so now you've got to really play good defense here. You only have a 5-point lead. Any touchdown's going to put them up without an extra point.
A call like that, Larry, is one that you'd like to have more than one camera working the game because everybody was up in the air, and from where I was sitting, it looked like the defender, he was in front of Eric. He jumped, Eric jumped, and it looked like he went back into Eric, but in reality, it was probably Eric going into him.
Well, I believe we had another offensive man come from behind both those, Chuck. That went over to the defensive man. But he's also making an attempt for the football.
Well, that's true.
And, it's just it's hard not to have something on a play like that where you've got that many people down there.
Well, Wolf, he was under the gun from the very onset of that play.
Well, you figure on a 2-point conversion, you're normally going to run an option-type situation. And Graham was coming with pressure from their right defensive end. And almost sacked Barry before he ever threw the ball up.
Right, 12-7. Blue Devils on top now.
So Graham has Dews and Gregory with all their speed staying back at their own 15-yard line. We've kicked the ball low and short every time, and they've moved up about 10 yards. So McClellan kicks the ball low again, and it hits a man. The Graham man is fielded at the 20, and he's got an outside shot.
Whoa!
Rick Arnold, I believe. No, it's Gibson, makes a heck of a tackle.
Kevin Gibson, he gave him an outside shot. Well, I'll tell you, little Kevin, he hit a lot harder than his 145 or 50 pounds indicates, doesn't it?
Well, Chuck, if he doesn't tackle him, he's going for a touchdown.
Right.
There's nobody else on this side.
And Kevin did a good job.
So the ball will be spotted at Graham's own 34. 3:07 to go, third quarter, and the Blue Devils lead 12-7.
That's about typical of where Graham has been starting all day.
Yeah, they've wore the 30-yard line out between the 30 and the 35. Sure have. They break their wishbone this time and split Gregory out left in the slot. Gray takes a hands off to the fullback, and he struggles to get 3-4 yards up across the 35 to about the 37.
And struggling is exactly what he did, because he had a bunch of folks hanging on to him.
Yeah, we had Fisher and Stacy combined on the tackle that time.
That's a big combination. I mean, you realize you're talking about close 500 pounds of humanity.
Gain of 3 on the play makes it second down and 7. Ball spotted at we'll call it the 38 of Graham. 2:15 to go, third quarter. Blue Devils again lead 12-7. Graham breaks the bone again. They hand off this time to Dews, and he breaks. He's gone for a touchdown.
He's all the way down the field, guys. There's nothing in this table.
Chases, but Dews scores. Touchdown, Graham.
I got to tell you, number 62, he gave an admirable chase up through there. Who's that, Wayne Gamble?
Yeah, Wayne Gamble.
He did a good job. He didn't lose a lot of yardage. That young man, he was outrunning him, but he wasn't gaining anything on Gamble.
Well, that's that's a touchdown almost from the same spot that Gregory ran his from a while ago. And Dews, it's almost the same play except to the opposite side. So the Blue Devils have been burnt twice by speed and by the same play.
I don't know how Richlands beat Graham like they did.
Well, they may have out-blocked them or, out-defended them at the line of scrimmage or something and tore this stuff down. Snap, kick is up, and the kick is good. So now Graham leads in the football game 14-12.
Now this is what will bring the emotions down. You go up 12-7, and 2 plays later, you're now down 14-12. And this is what will bring you down emotionally right quick.
Well, this wishbone, Chuck, if you defend it correctly, everybody has somebody that they have to take across the line of scrimmage. And if you lose your assignment there one time, you have a chance for a play on offense to go for a long way, and that's happened.
The Devils, of course, when they scored down there in that block punt earlier, the emotions were pretty high then. Then all of a sudden, they didn't get the 2-point conversion. That brought it down somewhat. Then 2 plays later, following the kickoff, you find yourself down 14-12. So that's got to be ego buster.
Easy will kick off from his own 40 to either Quillen or Clayball as they stand on their own 10-yard line. End over end kick. It's fielded by Arnold at the 25. He's up to the 30, across the 30, hit, and struggles up to the 34. So Gate City will at least have the best field position they've had in a
all
while.
night. Matter of fact, that's the first time they've started it far up the field.
I believe it is, other than the one time at midfield.
Right, they've been in the shadow of their own goal post every time.
So the Blue Devils with 1:49 to go, third quarter, take over as they trail in the football game 14-12.
Well, we have learned the big play from Graham, of course, is the outside runs. And, of course, the big plays from Gate City hasn't worked. That's the passes. It hasn't worked.
Well, we've had a couple people open. We just got to hit them.
Right.
We got Quillen in the slot right.
Here comes
Got
the
Shoemaker
pass.
out. The pass is complete to Shoemaker at the 38. And he's gang tackled there.
Sure.
The ball is fumbled, but the linesman marked it dead at the 38.
Yeah, he said no, he was down. Awful close call, wouldn't you think?
Well, I believe his momentum had been stopped, and they called him dead right there. A gain of about 3 on the play, makes it second down and 7. Ball spotted at the 38-yard line. Blue Devils 38. 1 minute to go, third quarter.
They've completed a couple of passes to number 32, Shoemaker, but they're not netting much.
Well, that little pass there is just a little quick hitch, and it's possibly good to set him up for a hitch and go, Chuck.
Right.
Because the defensive back has moved up a step or two here. We put McClellan in motion right. And Wolf takes the snap, drops back. They do set him up this time for
Here it is. Overthrown.
a hitch and go. And Shoemaker might have been bumped a little bit here while the ball's in there. I see a yellow flag on the field that says possible pass interference grant.
I'd say you're probably right, and that's not setting too well with some of the coaches from Graham, is it?
Well, when the ball's in the air, Chuck, you can't touch it.
That's right. And he was bumped on the sideline as he came down.
Yeah, he was bumped hard enough really to push him out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
And
So this will put the Blue Devils down in the Graham end of the football field.
48-yard line after the penalty was marked off. 31 seconds to go, third quarter. Blue Devils again with an 8 of a penalty have a pretty decent drive going here.
You can hear the Bluebirds out today.
Unbalanced line right. Wolf the quarterback. Hand off Gibson, and he's hit just as he gets to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Well, I'll tell you, that got the defense riled up from Bluefield, didn't it?
Yeah, Tony Easley, the right tackle, made a heck of a stop. Hit him just as he got to the line of scrimmage, and he hit him with something too, Chuck. I mean, he hit him hard.
The Bluebirds are right down underneath the press box, and I'm sure you can get a listen to them today.
So that's probably going to be the last play of the third quarter as we now down to 0 seconds, third quarter.
Okay. Whew, what a game.
Blue Devils trail after 3 quarters, 14-12.
14-12, but more importantly, they have the football if they can make something happen with it. Well, they got to turn it around and head it the other way. I tell you, the G-men are out there high-fiving right now, and they may be a bit premature in this.
Well, I believe Graham took the pass interference call and used it to their advantage. I think it kind of fired up their defense. It did on the one play that we ran after that, anyhow. So, but the Blue Devils have got to overcome that and keep this drive going, put something on the scoreboard. We're a very capable team if we can hit a pass or two here with the speed we have, and we have some speed in our receiving core also.
The thing that concerns me, Larry, is our inability to block 8 or 9 defensive players, and that's what Gate City's offensive line has been having to try to do. Barry is not having the time to set up and throw the ball.
No, and you won't have if you got that many people coming all the time. And that hurts. That hurts accuracy and distance and everything else if you're not able to set your feet. All right, here the Blue Devils go at Graham's 49-yard line, second down and 10. Wolf rolls to his right, has a man open. It's Quillen. The pass is overthrown.
Well, boy, I'll tell you, Barry had time that time. Chris made a good move down the sideline, just overthrew him.
They had him open at the 15-yard line.
It was a touchdown all over that one, and he just flat overthrew him.
So the Blue Devils will now go third and 10 at their own 49-yard line.
Squandered a golden opportunity.
Well, that pass there, Chuck, if you can put a little bit more iron under it and let him run in under it, you may have a touchdown. That's probably the hardest pass and that Barry's thrown all day. So here we go, third down 10. The ball at Gate City's at Graham's 49.
Well, it's obviously a passing situation. Let's see.
Graham comes with, puts the cornerbacks within 5 yards, so they could be coming.
9 men in the
Blitz here.
line.
Gate City hands off on a quick opener to Gibson, and he only picks up maybe a yard. So the punting team comes in for the Blue Devils.
He couldn't get past the first wall. They had 9 people in the front line that time, and Gate City was hoping that they could spring Gibson loose on that quick opener, but he never could get by the first wall.
Head will punt to either Hughes or Gregory, and they're standing back at their own 20-yard line.
We need a good punt now.
So we need to put Graham in a hole and keep him there and get
Right.
a turnover, really, is what we need. But you and I got a job to do, we can't coach, right?
Right, they don't permit that.
Head gets off a pretty good kick. Hughes receives it at his 18, breaks a tackle, it struggles up to the 25.
Well, that's not in real bad shape, because that's about 10 yards deeper than Graham is accustomed to starting.
Michael Calhoun made the tackle on kick.
Calhoun got down real quick that time. Of course, Head, he hung it up pretty good. Matter of fact, he just about got that one up into the jet stream.
Yeah, that's probably the best punt Brian's had today. Pretty good punt.
25-yard line.
Ball on 25, 11 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Graham 1st and 10 on their own 25. Blue Devils with a 6-man line, 3 linebackers, 2 defensive backs.
Fourth quarter, 14-12, Graham ahead.
A busted play, and Gray keeps, and it's thrown for a loss by the Blue Devils. John Fisher.
Fisher, okay.
Loss of a yard on the play. We'll bring up second.
Looks like he went to hand off the football, and there wasn't anybody there to hand it to, and he just kept it.
That's a helpless feeling, isn't it?
Lost a yard. So Blue Devils now got to put up a good defensive stand, get a turnover, good field position one. Wishbone set again for Graham. Gray the quarterback. Gregory the left half. Kelly the fullback. Hughes the right half. Gray takes a snap. Fumble on the play, and Graham recovers the football. What was that?
Opportunity was knocking.
Well, the guards and the tackles on both sides of the line of scrimmage were 3 yards downfield. The center and the quarterback just now taking care of the snap. How do you not have a legal procedure? But evidently it kind of stuck on his thigh or something, bounced up in the air. So a loss on the play makes it 3rd down and 11. The ball's at the 24-yard line of Graham. 9:39 to go.
9:39, clock is ticking, and
Big play Devils. Devils with 3 defensive backs this time, and they move Barry Wolf up to a linebacker spot, going with a 5-man defense. Graham runs the same play, and with Gregory outside, and Matt Clayball, John Stacy make a tackle. That's Gregory on the play.
71 yards.
Picked up about 3 yards up to the 27.
it's punting time.
And it's punting time again. Like I
Well,
said, reckon Chris Quillen can do it again.
Reckon Chris has got another one left in him?
I don't know. I hope so. The Blue Devils.
I do too. I would like to see him slap this sucker right into the end zone and somebody fall on it.
So everybody on Graham's defensive line or offensive line is pointing out to 25 over there on the other.
They know Chris, don't they? He'll be coming.
Here's a snap. It's a high snap. And Quillen kind of has to back off this time because he was going to be blocked and couldn't get there. But not too good a punt. Gates said he's going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
That's
so
not
got,
bad.
Pretty good field position if we can do something with the football here.
Well, they've got to negotiate a couple of 3 first downs. I mean, this is what is going to work. Right now, they find themselves down by 2 points. They're in the 4th quarter. You don't have any choice now. You've got to put it together on this drive.
Well, we need a touchdown, or we need to get down within 10 or 15 yards where we got a chance for a field goal.
I'd say touchdown is what we need, because I don't think Graham's through yet.
Graham with an 8-man line. Devils in a full house. Hand off to Arnold. He breaks across midfield to about the 49.
Leading block that time, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That was Gibson on the carry instead of Arnold.
Right, and leading the block that time was number 52, Michael Calhoun. He blocks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah, Michael's done a good job in that line all year long.
I noticed he came out. He was giving that defensive back all he wanted.
Pickup of 2 on the play makes it 2nd down and 8. 7:55 to go in the 4th quarter, and Graham leads in the ball game 14-12. Devils this time pro set with Arnold to left. Gibson. Arnold to left half, Gibson to right half. Wolf throws back. has a man open. It's Quillen inside the 45 at about the 44. Is going to be short of a first down.
Right, short, but getting close. About 2 yards shy, looks like.
It looks like I'll be spotted on the
we'll see where it's spotted.
43.
Yeah.
Devils reached the 41 for a first down.
Yeah, 2 yards shy. So third down and 2.
7:37 to go.
Right now, you've got 2 plays to cover this, Larry. They can't afford, if they don't get it the first time, they're going to have to go the second down now.
Brian Head has entered the lineup at a flanker spot right. Shoemaker split out wide right. Blue Devils pro set formation, unbalanced line left. Wolf takes a snap, has a pass to Head. It's complete up to the 35. First down, Blue Devils.
Badly needed. Brian brought his own number in that time.
Just a little pass out in the flat that time to Brian Head, made a good reception, picked up a first down.
I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with Graham. They play their defensive backs. They play it well, don't they?
So they do a good job.
There's somebody just about everywhere a receiver might go.
We have a timeout on the field called by Graham.
So with timeout, let's thank these sponsors again and get through them as fast as I can. The Magic Comb, Nations Bank, State Line Graphics, Darty Brothers Chevrolet, King Ford Sales, Weber City Drug Center, by Dennis Fritz, Allstate Insurance, Williams Heating and Air Conditioning, Roberts Tire and Recapping, McConnell and Sons Nationwide Home Builders, Scott Telecom and Electronics, and Old Dominion Shoe Repair. The Blue Devils are down by 2, 14-12, but the Devils with the football.
And the Devils with a pretty good drive going here. Have a 1st and 10 on their own, on Graham's 35. 7:33 to go. And Blue Devils have a chance if they can control the football, put it in the end zone.
Well, they can't afford to blow it right now because they're in the 4th quarter, down by 2, still plenty of time.
Well, this drive here, if you use it right and put the ball in the end zone, could take a majority of the time left on the clock.
It could take a lot of time off, and not only that, but it can take a lot of wind out of the sails of the G-men, too.
All right, here we go. Shoemaker split left. Jody Wolf tied in on the right side. Pro set formation. Graham's backed up our linebackers about a half yard. Hand off this time to Gibson, I believe. And he picks up maybe 2 yards, 3 yards on the slant left side behind the blocking of Frizzle, Oaks, and Kilgore. Looks like a pickup of, we'll call it 4, make it 2nd down and 6.
End of about 4, Kevin came out pretty good, so you can run all night like that if you can keep that going.
Gate City ran a little slant that time instead of running one of those quick openers that we've been running.
Well, the quick openers haven't worked that well against Graham.
We've been, so far we've been pretty basic offensive-wise, and just trying to execute the plays that we have caught. Barry Wolf takes a snap, rolls his right, has the man open.
Got him out there. Caught.
No, it's incomplete.
Oh.
Pass is incomplete to Quillen.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris had that one right in his hands, looked like, too.
No, the ball never did get to him, Chuck. Hit at his feet.
Well, I saw him making a lunge at it, and it looked like that he was going to be able to grab it, but he just couldn't hang on. Just couldn't get to the ball.
A big play, Blue Devils here now. It brings up a 3rd down and 6. Ball spotted at the Graham 32.
Yep. Well, you've got...
and the Blue Devils taking a lot of time.
They may get a yellow flag here just any time because they had some indecision there, I think.
Pro set formation. Graham has 9 men on the line of scrimmage. They drop back. Wolf has a man over the middle. Pass is intercepted. Graham breaks out. Barry at that time tried to throw the ball to Shoemaker, and Graham intercepted with Gregory.
Well, Shoemaker was the one that grabbed him by a shoestring and just barely tripped him up. That's all that stood between Gregory and another 6 points.
Well, that pass is a little bit underthrown.
Right.
But and it was well defended. It would have been hard probably to get the ball over Gregory's head and gotten it to Shoemaker, even though Shoe has quite a bit of size.
Well, the most important thing right now is what's showing over there, 6.5 minutes, and you're down by 2. And the worst thing, Graham has the football.
Well, Blue Devils got a hole here, make a defensive stand, and make Graham go 3 and out here to get back in the football game. Fumble on the play, and Gray falls on his own fumble.
Loss
of about 4.
3 or 4.
So Graham's trying to give us an opportunity here. We haven't been able to capitalize on the turnover.
That's 2 or 3 times the quarterback has mishandled the football.
Yeah, that's about at least 3 times on the exchange between he and the center.
Of course, giving everyone credit for everything, it's really hard to hang on to when it's that wet.
Oh yeah, and it's the ball right now is probably in the worst part of the field, right in the middle of the field. 23-yard line, Graham. Second down, 15. 5 minutes, 36 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and Graham leads in the ball game 14-12. They break the wishbone, busted play, and
down again.
Gray is thrown for a loss by
another loss of a yard or 2.
Got a couple of flags here on the play. One by the referee, one by the line judge.
It's going to be a procedure, I believe.
I think we may have offsetting here. Let's see, Chuck. Got a legal motion. Let's see.
That's from Graham.
Illegal motion, Graham. Face mask, Gate City.
Phew, offsetting. Well, we dodged the bullet there.
Offsetting penalties.
So it'll go back to the original line of scrimmage. There was about a 2-yard loss back there.
The only thing Gate City lost there really was about 45 seconds off the clock.
That was a long play.
Yeah. So the ball should be spotted.
Makes it second down, 15.
At the same spot. 23-yard line of Graham.
Well, you can bet they're not going to get in any hurry now.
5:20 to go. Second down, 15. Wishbone, Gray the quarterback. Hands off to Gregory, running right, circling right. Breaks the tackle, gets up across the 30. Picks up maybe 7-8 yards on the play. It's going to be third down at about 8.
Third down and about 8 yards. There seems to be a few words being exchanged out there. I noticed number 23 for Graham. He was leading another player back there who seemed to be getting a little upset at something.
4 minutes and 43 seconds with a counting clock here.
Right.
Fourth quarter. Big play. Gate City needs to hold Graham here and not let him get a first down. Wishbone. Gray the quarterback. Hand off to Hughes running right, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. 2-yard loss.
So it's punting time. Over 4:19. Well, about over 4 minutes left.
Those 2 defensive tackles, Stacy and Fisher again, have done a good job.
Those guys have played a game, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've had one of the best games our defensive line has had all year, I believe.
Well, John Fisher hasn't been in there in 4 or 5 games, and I'm sure that you bring another senior in there and put beside Stacy, that does make a difference. A big man too.
All right, the Blue Devils with 10-man rush, come with Quillen, and he almost blocks it. But he gets off the punt. It's going to take a Graham roll and be down inside the 40, Gate City 40 at the 38.
Okay, guys. 3:41 shows on the clock. The Devils are down by 2, 14-12.
Let's see if my math is right. That's 62 yards you got to go. Is that right?
Yep. Somewhere close.
62 yards in 3 minutes, 41 seconds.
Be like the Burt Reynolds movie, wouldn't it? The longest yard.
Blue Devils, I believe, have 2 timeouts left, as does Graham in the second half, if I've done a good job doing my book work here. So Blue Devils with Shoemaker split out right, and McClellan in the slot. Graham with a 8-man line. They hand off this time to Gibson. No, the keeper with Wolf breaks up across close to midfield to 48.
Well, he got enough for the first, I believe.
That was going to be about 2 yards short.
Oh, okay.
Good fake that time by Arnold, or by Gibson, and Wolf on the keeper.
I tell you, I'm impressed with little Gibson's faking ability. He covers up real well.
Second down, about half yard to go. 3 minutes to go in the ball game.
I thought he really had the first down. It looked like it, but I guess not.
Blue Devils under 3 minutes now, 2:52 to go.
The G-men are asking for noise out there. They're wanting their crowd to get fired up.
Shoemaker split out left. Quillen goes in motion right.
Long count.
Wolf takes a snap. They come in with a lot of pressure. Throws the ball down the field. We got interference of Graham, or defensive holding on Graham. One of the other.
One of the two. There's a flag come out, and it'll be either defensive holding or interference. One of the two. Give me the interference call.
Yeah, the defensive back on that side held Quillen up with the ball in the air again.
Let's see what the ref says. Holding.
That's Jacob Hughes that did that time. No, it's not. That's 9. That's Brandon Banks. That was the guilty man that time for Graham.
He's the culprit. So that's we'll give Gate City another first down.
You know, the Blue Devils, even with all that speed that Graham has in their defensive backfield, has had Quillen open a time or two.
Yeah. Well, Chris has been open probably more tonight than he has in any game this year.
So after the penalty, that'll spot the ball at the Graham 42-yard line. 1st and 10. We got 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go.
Plenty of time, boys.
Blue Devils need at least 20, 25 more yards to give McClellan a chance to kick a winning field goal, or 42 yards to a touchdown. Pass this time to Shoemaker, out flat. Pass is complete. Only a pickup of about 4 up to the 36-yard line, we'll call it. 37. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go.
This thing is nerve-wracking, isn't it?
I believe we get 20 more yards.
Gain of 5.
20 more yards, Matt McClellan win this football game to a field goal.
I'll take it. I don't care how it's won. It doesn't matter.
Shoemaker split out left. McClellan split it in the slot left. Graham shows blitz. They're coming from the weak side. And Wolf is hit, fumbles the football. Gibson falls on it back at the 48.
Sure. Well, Kevin saved the game right there.
Blue Devils got to take a timeout here.
That's right. They've got to stop the clock right now. 1:48, and they do.
That's a play that ran at the tackle, and on the 4-down play up there, Wolf rose to his left, and he got hit from his line side. It was Richland. I'm sorry, not a tassel, but a Richland.
Well, Kevin Gibson was the man of the hour right there because he fell on that loose ball. Wolf never saw what hit him.
Well, the Blue Devils lost, let's see, Chuck, about 10 yards on the play.
Lost about 10 or
8.
maybe a little more.
We'll call it 8 on the play.
But that's not important right now. What is important, they got the football back. They've got 2 tries to negotiate something here.
Well, the Blue Devils must get the ball down to the Graham 32, it looks like, for a first down.
Because what's going to happen right now, if they turn it over to Graham, they're not going to get the football back. These seniors will never get it back.
Yeah, we've only got 1:48 to go in the ball game, and Graham leads 14-12.
Right.
Graham came with blitzes that time from both sides.
You can bet that Nick Colabro is telling them out there, hey, they're coming after you. You've got to do it right. So here we go. Ball spotted out wide.
Ball spotted on Graham's 49-yard line. 3rd and 17, Blue Devils. Shoemaker split out again. Wide right. Jody Wolf a tight end on the left side. Chris Quillen in the slot right. Graham comes from a weak side. Throw it out to Shoemaker. Hook lateral to Quillen. He breaks out of bounds at the 40. He's going to be short of the first down.
Well, they learned that from Appalachia, did they?
Just didn't hardly have enough room to operate over there, Chuck.
Just wasn't enough room on the side.
All right, the ball is down to the 39-yard line of Graham. Gate City has 17 seniors that could be the last football game of the year.
That's it. It could be their last football game ever.
Yeah, if they do not execute this play. It's 4th down and 7. They must get inside Graham's 32 for a first down.
The season is rapidly coming to an end for somebody.
McClellan in the split out left. Wolf with a lot of... Shoemaker had a first down, had the yardage and slipped. And the pass was right there, but his feet went under.
Okay.
So Graham will take over on down.
And all they've got to do is run the clock out. 1:38 left. You can bet there's not going to be anything except a big fullback laying on a football.
Well, the Blue Devils have put up a good football game,
sure.
Chuck. I don't think anything's over yet. Graham's mishandled the snap 2 or 3 times, and maybe they'll do it one more time. We're able to pick it up and run it in.
Well, that's what it's going to take right now.
Eternal optimist. That's what you call that, isn't it?
That's what?
Eternal optimism or something.
Well, that's good.
All right, Graham takes over at the 39 at their own 39-yard line. Gray, the quarterback, takes a snap, hands off to his left halfback, which is Gregory that time, and he just goes on a dive across the 40. Picks up 1 yard on the play, and the clock's down to a minute 26 and counting.
This ball game is pitted, the coach against the player. Glenn Carlock, the coach, and Nick Collero, the player. And as it turned out, the old coach is not ready to retire, is he?
Well, the Blue Devils have had opportunities. We just haven't executed those opportunities. Haven't executed well. Time Graham takes the snap will be inside a minute. 59 seconds to go. Gray, the quarterback. Wishbone set. Hand off again to Gregory, and he's hitting his backfield by Chris Quillen, I believe. No, it's not Chris Quillen. It's
53.
62.
Okay, 62. Gamble and
Wayne Gamble.
And Grizzle was standing right there waiting.
Clock is down to 33 seconds. Graham may take a delay a game here just to let the clock run out.
They're in no hurry. All they got to do is just hang on to the football, and they'll take this thing back to Bluefield. So, and now the end is near.
19 seconds to go.
And we must face.
Blue Devils have one timeout left. If they can stop the play here, we're down to 11 seconds. Handoff. Hughes, he stopped. His clock's down to 3 seconds. Blue Devils call timeout. It's going to be 4th down.
One more play. All they've got to do is snap the football.
And really, to be honest, all they got to do is they don't even have to punt it. That punter can run around back there and.
Well, I wouldn't even put a punter back.
Yeah.
No point in that. Just put your quarterback back there, let the center snap it one more time. That's it.
Well, I think here you probably rush. You go with all 11 people if they do go in punt formation. And they're not going to, I don't believe. Yeah. Gray is staying in the football game, the quarterback. And Graham, all they got to do is just center it and run a little lateral here, and the clock will run out.
The G-Men, the Region 4 champion of 1993, they will host Jefferson Forest next week in Bluefield. The Devils have not had a bad year. They'll end up 9-3. That's not bad.
Well, the thing that I see about this whole game is Gate City had 3 or 4 plays that if they had executed it well,
they could have easily won the game.
Could probably have been ahead. But so is Graham. Graham's had 3 or 4 plays if they had executed well. Might be ahead by more than what they are.
What is it? Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right. It's been a pretty evenly fought football game, and
there'll be a lot of Saturday morning quarterbacks or Sunday morning quarterbacks.
So Gray takes the snap, rolls straight back.
It's over.
And Clayball puts the pressure on him. Ball game's over.
He just ran back down the field toward his own end zone, and the G-Men have won the Region 4 championship. A hard-fought ball game, but as Larry said earlier, had the Blue Devils, if they had executed the way they were capable of doing, they could have won the ball game, because squandered opportunity was what I have seen throughout the day.
Well, it's just a couple of plays, and it's hard to execute on everything.
Sure.
The 4th down pass to Shoemaker may have been a little bit behind him. He tried to cut back, and his feet went out from under him. You got to make those plays, and we failed to click on them. But I'm proud, as I'm sure the whole community, and Coach Collabro is proud of these young men. They've had a good year. I would like to have seen them carried on and got Jefferson Forest down here next week. But I think everything so far has come down to 1 or 2 plays, and we failed to execute. Graham only had 2 big plays in the game. They ran 2 long touchdowns, and we had the opportunity a time or 2, and we didn't execute, and that's the ball game. They executed 2 plays, and we did.
Right, that's what it amounted to. We have not had the running game all day. Matter of fact, our running game has only looked real good 2 or 3 times this year, and we have said all along that in high school you must have a running game to be able to win big. And that's something we haven't had. Today, of course, I think Barry probably knew coming in here, I know Nick Collabro did, that they were coming after Barry Wolf. They had to stop him. Glenn Carlock said he had to stop Barry. And he came down here with a full intent of stopping him, and he did, by throwing 7, 8, and 9 kids in the line. It's really hard to throw if you have to throw on the run. And but Once again, execution is the name of the game.
Well, Chuck, this is one thing here that I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't remember it. Gate City as a whole school will crown the region champion on our own home field, and we'll take the runner-up spot. I'm sure it may have happened before, but
no,
I don't remember
so.
presenting the regional championship to somebody else.
I don't think that's ever happened up here. In fact, the Blue Devils put Graham out last year. The Graham put Gate City out this year. I don't remember it ever happening here.
We may have presented to Radford one time here. I'm not really sure, but
I don't either. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, they won, we lost.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the bottom line. A 14-12 football game. It's a hard loss for anyone. It's something that Nick Colorado is not going to sleep well tonight with. You can count on that. He's going to be seeing number 7 in his dreams.
Well, Chuck, I'm going to run through the stats, and then we'll let you go through the sponsors, and you and I can head for home.
Sounds like a winner to me.
For the game, first downs, Gate City had 7, Graham had 6. Rushing yardage, Gate City rushed the ball 22 times for 72 yards. Graham rushed the ball for 32 times for 160 yards. Passes, Gate City had 16 passes attempted, completed 7, 1 interception, 74 yards. Graham only had 5 passes, completed 2, didn't throw a pass in the second half, no interceptions, and 9 yards in passing. Total offense, 146 Gate City, 169 Graham. Fumbles, Gate City had 1 fumble and recovered it. Graham had 4 fumbles and only lost 1 of them. Turnovers, Gate City had 1, Graham had 2. Punts, Gate City punted 5 times for a 25-yard average. Graham 4 times for a 29-yard average. Penalties, Gate City had 2 penalties for 10 yards. Graham had 6 penalties for 55 yards. Those stats were compliments of Mike Bailey, Mark Peters, and WGAT Radio, Mike Long. And today I'd like to wish Mark Peters a happy birthday. Today's his birthday, Chuck. He's 31 years old.
Is that what he told you?
Yeah, I found out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was older than that.
They've done a good job all year long. That whole staff has provided us with stats, and I think we ought to compliment them. And I'm going to turn it over to you to let you get the sponsor.
Okay, we would certainly like to thank our sponsors that have been with us in the playoff segment of 1993. Of course, I'm talking about the Magic Comb by Nations Bank, State Line Graphics, Daugherty Brothers Chevrolet, King Ford Sales, Weber City Drug Center, Dennis Fritz, Allstate Insurance, Williams Heating and Air Conditioning, Roberts Tire and Recapping, McConnell & Sons Nationwide Home Dealers, by Scott Telecom and Electronics, and by Old Dominion Shoe Repair in Weber City. And Larry, we'd like to thank our camera people. The camera people today has been John Weiniger, Charles Hartgrove, and Nathan Kilgore. And we'd like to thank little Tammy McGee, too. He wasn't here today, but we thank her for being with us throughout the season. Our producer for 1993 has been Gwen Lane. The manager of STE has been Jim McConnell. Larry, I really hated to see this one come to an end.
Well, Chuck, it's been a pleasure working with you all year and with the STE crew, and I hate to quit doing it too, but all good things must come to an end.
So they say.
I'm just like to say that I'm proud of these Blue Devils and what they have done, and it's been an honor to do it, and I appreciate working with you.
Well, I've had a good time with it. I appreciate all your help assisting us to get in and out of the press boxes and furnishing transportation throughout the year. And anyway, it's been a real thrill to me to be out here with 93 with you in the press facility, and of course all the road games. We've had a good time, and of course we're certainly looking forward to doing it again next year.
Well, let's sign it off, Chuck. I believe you're trying to give us a signal.
Okay, the signal is there. Many thanks to you, our listeners and our viewers, for being with us throughout the year. Hoping we'll get together again next year. Until then, this will be Chuck Newton along with Larry Shelton, and take care.